there, and welcome to week 15 of our movie review series. For this week, we will be reviewing the movie, The Blues Brothers. All right, let's break down how this movie will be rated. There will be 5 categories, and each one of those categories will have a rating scale of 1 to 10. Plus, there will be a bonus category called Secret Sauce. The max that this movie can receive as far as points is 50 points, and the max they can receive as far as Secret Sauce is 5. Also, I will be doing a time-lapse drawing inspired by this film towards the end of this video, so be sure to stick around for that. So grab your shades, because it's time for The Blues Brothers. The movie opens with Jake Blues, who's just released from prison and is being picked up by his brother Elwood in his battered-up black and white police car. Jake is not too impressed with his brother's new ride, but Elwood shows him just how great the car is when he jumps a drawbridge. Jake and Elwood return to the orphanage where they grew up, keeping a promise that Jake made to visit the head nun, or as they call her, the Penguin. While there, they learn that the orphanage is about to be shut down unless they raise $5,000 to pay off back taxes. Jake and Elwood tell the head nun that they want to help raise the money, but she shuts them down. She doesn't want their dirty money. If they're going to do it, it has to be done the right way. Downstairs, they meet Curtis, the orphanage handyman, and basically a father figure to them. He tells them to go to church and get their mission from God. Once they're there, the service goes wild. People are dancing, singing, jumping, Jake's doing flips, and that's when it hits them. They'll get the band back together to save the orphanage. After leaving the church, Jake and Elwood hit the road. But that night, Elwood breaks a traffic law and gets pulled over by the state troopers. They run his record and they find out he's got a ton of tickets, violations, and that his car shouldn't even be on the road. So what does Elwood do? He hits the gas. What follows is one of the craziest police chases ever. They even tear through a shopping mall, causing total chaos, like something straight out of the Three Stooges. The boys manage to escape the police, and they head back to Elwood's tiny apartment. As they're about ready to enter the building, a mysterious woman fires a rocket launcher at them out of nowhere. They survive somehow, and then head upstairs to rest like nothing happened. The next morning, the cops show up and are ready to bust the door down, but the same woman blows the whole front side of the building off. Jake and Elwood walk away like it's just another Tuesday and head to Elwood's work so he can tell his boss that he's quitting to become a priest. The boys head out to find most of their band, and they find them, well, playing as Murphy and the Magic Tones in a Holiday Inn. They're in pink suits and they're doing corny background tunes. It's rough. Jake and Elwood convince them to come back, promising to bring the blues back to life. They then track down their old trumpeter, Mr. Fabulous, who's working as a maitre d' at some fancy restaurant. He tries to say no, but the brothers basically annoy him into saying yes. Loud chewing, terrible table manners, the works. Basically, they will return every day until he says yes. He says yes. On their way to pick up the last band members, the brothers run into a group of Illinois Nazis blocking the road. Do they stop? Of course not. They floor it and send the Nazis diving into a pond to save themselves, adding yet another group to the long list of people chasing after them. They arrive at the restaurant to the sound of a real live band playing, a cool musical pre-moment that sets the vibe. Ho, ho, ho. Inside, they meet Matt Guitar Murphy and Blue Lou Marini working at the diner. That's when Aretha Franklin absolutely steals the scene with her performance of Think. She tells Matt not to rejoin the band, but of course, he does anyways. Once the band is back together, they head to Ray's Music Exchange, run by none other than Ray Charles. They look for gear, and as they're looking, Jake spots a beat-up old keyboard. When he questions if it even works, Ray just grins and shows him, breaking into Shake a Tail Feather, while everyone outside starts dancing in the streets. It's a total jam session. The band's all set, and Jake claims he's got a gig lined up. But yeah, he totally doesn't. After a long drive, they stumble onto this old country bar where the good old boys are supposed to be playing. Jake and Elwood walk in pretending they're the band, and they take the stage. It goes horrible. People are chucking beer bottles at them, and the only thing keeping them safe is the chicken wire fence. So they improvise. They bust out Rawhide and Stand By Your Man, and somehow the crowd loves it. But they find out their $200 payment doesn't even cover their $300 beer tab. As they try to skip out, they run into the real good old boys, and chaos breaks loose. The Blues Brothers take off, and a classic movie luck, the cops accidentally crash right into the good old boys' RV during the chase. After getting some help from an old booking agent, the band finally gets booked a big show at the Plaza Hotel Ballroom. Everyone helps spread the word. The orphanage kids, their friends, and of course, Jake and Elwood themselves. The guys drive all over Chicago with their giant megaphone on top of their car, yelling at people to come to the one-night-only concert. But because they're the Blues Brothers and things don't go exactly smooth for them, they run out of gas in the middle of nowhere. They end up pushing the car to the gas station, only to find out that the station is completely out of fuel. They're told to wait for the pump truck to arrive. So when it does finally arrive, a woman in a convertible pulls up and asks Elwood to fill her tank up. He pretends to work there, flirts while he fills her vehicle up with gas, and then tells her about the band gig, and even overcharges her before she drives off. Then Jake and Elwood realize they're running late. They speed off, leaving behind a trail of gasoline, and of course, Jake flicks a cigarette, causing the entire gas station to explode. The brothers have to sneak into their own concert because, surprise, the cops are waiting to arrest them. While the crowd starts to get restless, Cab Calloway steps up and performs Minnie the Moocher. It's an incredible moment, full of vintage energy, and it completely wins the audience over just long enough for Jake and Elwood to make their grand entrance. Now that the band is finally together, the Blues Brothers hit the stage and perform Everybody Needs Somebody to Love and Sweet Home Chicago. The crowd goes wild, completely into it. As the band keeps jamming, they play an extended riff, giving the illusion that they're coming back on stage. But it's really their clever way to slip out before the police can grab them. As they're leaving, a record executive stops them and offers a $10,000 advance to make a record. They take $5,000, just enough to save the orphanage, and quietly sneak out before anyone realizes they're gone. That's when the mysterious woman shows up again and tries to take out the brothers again. Turns out she's Jake's ex-fiancée. She's still mad at him for leaving her at the altar. Jake hits her with the classic puppy dog eyes and, well, tricks her again and takes off with Elwood.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
And that's when the brothers make their final run to the Cook County office. The police are hot on their trail as they tear down the highway, and along the way they run into the good old boys, who they send flying straight into a lake. Once they hit downtown Chicago, it turns into a wild car chase. The Illinois show up too, only to be launched off an overpass. And chaos completely takes over the streets even more as police cars pile up, spin out everywhere. Finally, the brothers reach the Cook County office, sprint inside, race up the elevators to the tax office, and hand over the money paying off the orphanage tax just in time as the police bust in and arrest them. The movie ends with the band back together. Well, now behind bars, but they're still back together, and they perform Jailhouse Rock. When it comes to the story of this movie, I feel like the plot almost takes a backseat to what the film is really about. A love letter to the blues, soul, and R&B world. That's the real energy driving it. Sure, on the surface it's about two guys on a mission from God to save their childhood orphanage. But it's everything around that. The music, the performances, the chaos that makes it stand out. The slapstick car chases and over-the-top moments give it a Three Stooges kind of charm, yet it still stays grounded through that emotional hook of trying to do something good at its core.
And the final verdict is...
When it comes to the characters, we've got Jake, played by John Belushi, fresh out of prison, and his brother Elwood, played by Dan Aykroyd. Right from the start, you can tell that these two don't fit the usual mold. They're always in their black suits and sunglasses, and they're totally driven by their love for blues and R&B. And then we have amazing performances from music legends like Aretha Franklin, who steals the show with Think, Ray Charles, who tears it up with Shake a Tail Feather, and Cab Calloway, who brings the house down with Minnie the Moocher. But the real magic comes from Belushi and Aykroyd's chemistry. The way that they play off of each other makes these characters unforgettable and keeps the movie's energy flowing.
And the final verdict is...
When it comes to the soundtrack of this movie, let's be honest, it's what makes this movie. Most of the songs are either covers performed by the Blues Brothers band or originals sung by the actual artist who created them. The band themselves, though, tears through classics like Gimme Some Lovin', Soul Man, and Sweet Home Chicago. What's so great about this band is that their entire sound and mission are about paying homage to classic soul, blues, and R&B. They bring that timeless sound to a wider audience while honoring legends like Otis Redding, Robert Johnson, and Sam and Dave. It's a perfect blend of respect, rhythm, and raw energy that keeps their music and the music they celebrate alive. While I didn't find the story itself all that appealing, the music more than made up for it. I love seeing legends like Aretha Franklin, James Brown, Cab Calloway, Ray Charles, John Lee Hooker, and so many other incredible musicians featured in this movie. It truly plays tribute to their talent. Getting to see them perform, and even act, if only for a moment, helps keep their legacy alive. Not just in the music, but in Hollywood history as well.
And the final verdict is...
When it comes to the visuals of this movie, yes, it was made in the 1980s, long before modern CGI. But that's exactly what makes it so impressive. The Blues Brothers relied entirely on practical effects and real stunts, and the results are spectacular. The car chases are iconic, from the mall scene filmed in a real abandoned mall to the wild high-speed pileups across Chicago. Even the Bluesmobile itself is legendary. They used over 13 different Dodge cars, and in one scene, the director confirmed the car actually hit 118 miles per hour. The crew filmed on real Chicago streets and landmarks like the Daly Center, giving the movie a gritty sense of realism, even amidst all the absurdity. Between the exploding buildings, filmed with miniatures for safety, the rocket launcher stunts, and the flying cars, the slapstick chaos feels beautifully choreographed. Everything you see really happened. No CGI, just real stunts, clever camera work, and pure movie magic.
And the final verdict is...
When it comes to the cultural impact of this film, it's important to recognize how it honors blues, soul, and R&B in a way that few comedies ever have. It brought legends like Aretha Franklin, James Brown, Cab Calloway, Ray Charles, John Lee Hooker, and so many other musicians to the screen. not just in cameos, but in powerful performances that celebrate their legacy. The film helped revive interest in the blues and the soul genres, especially among audiences who might not have ever been exposed to that music otherwise. It introduced an entire generation to the brilliance of these legends. Over time, the Blues Brothers grew from a simple sketch turned movie into a box office success and eventually a true cult classic. It's become a lasting part of pop culture and was even selected by the Library of Congress for preservation, cementing its place as one of the most enduring and influential comedies ever made.
And the final verdict is... And now Secret Sauce time. Does this movie have what it takes to deserve Secret Sauce? Final score.
Well, I hope this review put a little rhythm in your step, maybe even made you want to go listen to some blues. If it did, go ahead and give this video a like. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because I have many more reviews just like this coming up soon, so you don't want to miss out on that. But until next week, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next review. Bye!
That's for you, Kai.